I have like.
There's a graphic novel of Bedlam?
No, I have like one of his Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, dude,
like,
they have it up to date. There's like probably 15 issues out. They have the first 10 issues of graphic novel. Why?
Because I forgot my fucking charger.
Woo! That's all right, man. I got all the.
Unless that. What's the charger to this thing?
I'm not sure.
What time are you coming over, Ty? What time am I? I don't really know what time I'm leaving.
Battery.
Yep, that's not gonna work. I'm coming over when the podcast is done because we already made these plans.
Dude, I forgot all my cords. I forgot both my chargers.
I know I was waiting for Ron to set up, but is it not gonna work, Ron?
No, I don't have my charger.
Can you set up the boom mic anyway?
Oh,
damn,
that's
pretty
sick. You guys don't have do you have something to record it into on the laptop?
Yeah, maybe.
Download like Audacity or Reaper.
I'm trying to see if Sutton can come over after you. How long do you think you're gonna stay?
I don't know.
I
think they want to do like
kind of
birthday
broke
shit
it.
for you.
Huh?
I think they want to do like
Ron, you
birthday
definitely
shit.
gotta
Yeah. Kim was talking.
Like, I got okay. My top
Because
3
he
favorites.
wants you to still be there.
I'll tell you
what
something.
What?
Like, is your brother still
My
gonna be
top
there?
3
Because Son's
favorites. My
trying to
favorite
come over
superhero,
afterwards.
Spider-Man.
Oh, it wouldn't be too late. I'd probably get over like 8 at the latest.
My
I'd
favorite
say.
comic series is Bedlam.
Kim thinks that you're coming at like 7.
Yeah, I told her ballpark.
It's
Puzzle overload.
I had that when I had an epiphany, in the academy. So I'd been reading Frankel. I had been reading some Don Miguel Ruiz and some like Aquinas and Augustine, all sorts of stuff. And all these things are just racing through my head, and I felt like they connected. Like there was something I needed to glean from this that was like really important, that really helped me, but I couldn't figure out what it was. So my gears just kept turning. I was just kind of letting my thoughts flow and trying to find connections. And then I was standing. We're on latrine break, which is bathroom break, in between classes at the academy, and it really sucks because you all have to stand in formation, and you have to stand at the position of attention. And that's your heels touching, your feet 45 degrees apart, and your fingers tucked, and your thumbs on the seams of your trousers, and you look straight ahead, and you do that. And I was just standing there waiting for my turn in the bathroom. It's 64 kids, and there's like 8 toilets, so.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so I was waiting. I was just standing there, and I was just thinking, and then I had this epiphany, and it just hit me, and it rocked me in my core, dude. And I started like tripping out. It was a really sunny day. It was during the summer, and I remember staring at the leaves and watching the light on them. They're like, some of them were shaded and some of them were really bright because the light was shining on them and the wind was blowing. So the wind was blowing these leaves, and I remember the moment was so surreal that I stopped looking at it as a tree, and I saw it just as pure objective color, and it looked like just this like twinkling green and like dark green and light green cloud. And
What? Not even close.
Well, yeah, but so you didn't have that. But what you explained to me, I also had all these thoughts were racing through my head, and I came with this one grand epiphany, and it was just like stamped on my brain. It was just like boom, and I was like, oh shit, and what it was, and it had me shaking.
Yes.
And everything just had a different shade to it after that. And I couldn't look at things the same, and I was just like I couldn't concentrate on my class. I was just focused on this one thing, and it was that every man's purpose in life, in some way, is to help his fellow man. I believe.
That's... Huh. I don't even think I'm capable of thinking of anything else now, thanks to you, but that's crazy.
In some way, you know?
Yeah.
It's all to help the fellow man. No one feels fulfilled unless they're doing their part in giving to something. The part of a man's purpose in life is helping his fellow man.
As much as I try and think of something that doesn't agree with that, I can't. Well, actually, yeah, I can't. No, I cannot.
That was what I came up with, and
But
that's what rocked me in my core. And I've had a couple other times like that, nowhere near on that level.
okay,
that
I have
was the grandest epiphany of my entire life. It hit me
okay,
so
I have
hard.
one question though.
Yeah.
For that, how does? Well, maybe it does, but okay. Anyways, how does we have these huge wars and genocide and stuff. How does killing man help man?
That's not a. People have people have been misinterpreting their will to meaning, since the beginning of man. Serial killers are acting on a frustrated and distorted will to meaning. Their meaning is killing people methodically, and that's not the correct meaning. They're channeling it in a negative way.
But how could they think that helps man?
They don't necessarily do it consciously.
So subconsciously they're helping. But even if they're doing it subconsciously, how does that help man?
That's why I say it's distorted. It's a distorted will to meaning. They're taking their will to meaning, what they're meant for,
Why
and
is
they're
it
putting it
distorted
through a
for
different
those people?
channel.
Why is it distorted for those people?
Genetics, dude. Remember, what life is about is we're just given this genetic crapshoot. It's just this random bullshit that happens.
It's not random.
Well, no, I know it's hereditary and stuff, but for our souls, dude, for our consciousness, when we're implanted into this body, from wherever we come from, because it's cyclic, I believe. So when we're implanted in this body, it's random. Like, we don't pick who we are. It's just completely random. So part of our purpose in this life, I believe, is trying to connect our soul, our real, our spiritual unconscious, with the psychology of our brain, with our neural network and our biology, because our biology is such a random crapshoot that they're not synced up. They're never synced up. So part of life is syncing them up.
Well, part of life is syncing them up.
That's part of everyone's journey in life.
What happens when you sync them up?
That's what enlightenment is all about, dude.
Syncing what up again?
Syncing up your true spiritual unconscious with the instinctual unconscious, all this shit around you, and all the genetics, the neural networking, all our biology, syncing up the physical part of us and what makes the physical psychology with the spiritual unconscious in us, the quote unquote soul.
Like the connections we're having?
Yes.
Dude.
That's all part of the process of connecting.
Right, syncing, yeah.
Yes, syncing.
Dude, that's insane.
What do you think about that, dude?
That's, perfect.
You like it?
That's perfect.
Sweet, dude. That's
probably the best thing I've ever heard.
That's stuff I've come up with on my own.
That's the best shit I've ever heard.
I mean, of course, I was inspired by other people, but that's stuff I've come up with.
Dude, that's that is really, it's a really crazy epiphany.
And the way you sync them up is, listen, so when we're born and up until we're confronted with this, when we have to wade into the water of the thought. Wading into the water of thought is when you finally, when you reach high school around sophomore, junior, senior year. For some people it's later, but it's usually around there, when you're just confronted with the big issues for the first time, like religion, like what do I believe in? Yeah. And love usually hits you, and you usually have a really big heartbreak, and you're like, what is the purpose in this? You really question the things around you. And so some people, they wade into the water of the thought, and that's when things get really bleak. Now, this is what happens, and this just ties in what we were talking about before we started recording. Now, people either continue, and things get darker and darker, but the old cliche, it's a cliche for a reason, things are always darkest before the dawn, and eventually we come out. And that's kind of what I've went through, and that's what I've seen a lot of people go through, but I've seen a lot of people, maybe even more people, make it halfway, get scared, and you know what, that's okay, that's understandable. I don't judge people. That's an acceptable thing to do. That's natural. Mm-hmm. They get scared and they go back, and they never make it to the other side of, quote unquote, I use this term loosely, enlightenment, mm-hmm. or the path towards enlightenment. So until you make it to the other side of this body of water, and you can start fumbling your way to the truth, mm-hmm. We are completely guided by our unconscious and our subconscious, because our unconscious and subconscious are all, it's all guided by the instinctual, in our neurons and our biology and the genetic imprint of our characteristics and whatnot, So when up until we make it to the other side of that body of water, we have been completely guided by our subconscious and unconscious because they feed to the conscious part of us, and that's been guided by our biology. So we haven't had any free will up until that point. The only way you can get free will, theoretically speaking, and who knows, and who knows if anybody can ever achieve complete free will in this state as a human being, right? So but you have to start funneling. You have to channel what you watch. Like you don't watch certain things, dude. Even if it's to make fun of them, you never watch Jersey Shore. That and stuff like that, because it still clouds up your head.
Yeah.
You listen to the
With,
beautiful
like, nonsense.
You listen to the beautiful things. You surround yourself constantly with the things that feed into your positive energy, and eventually, because the subconscious and unconscious feed off of what comes through consciously, but it unless you cut out everything, it will take in everything, and it's going to be a whirlwind. So until you funnel it, then when you start to funnel it consciously, over time it ekes into your subconscious and starts getting in there, and then over more time it goes to the third level, the deepest one. It gets to your unconscious, and then that's when you can control what fully entirely happens, because the subconscious and unconscious are working off what you specifically want it to, and then that is the process of syncing up the genetic and the spiritual.
God. I don't even know what to say after that.
What do you think, man?
It's the best theory I've ever heard in my entire life.
Sweet.
Wow. You're gonna make me cry.
So that right there, that was my systematic, logical interpretation of the meaning of life, pretty much.
Wow. You're a lot further than I am. At least.
I had 6 months where I did nothing but this.
Yeah, you can tell. God.
There's a barrier that I broke down in my head in the academy, and it was before the academy, my thoughts controlled me.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my genetics and my quote unquote chemical imbalances with the depression and anxiety, which have miraculously disappeared just by reshifting my perception. So I don't know what that's about, but I know what happened to me, you know. But so that was guided by all this shit, and so I get to the academy, and I can't turn to anything. I can't go bury my head in a pillow and cry and sit in the corner and listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go smoke a cigarette or a joint. I can't go I can't do anything, dude. I have to do what they fucking tell me. I have a schedule. And you know what? Boo fucking who if I don't feel good and I feel like crying. I have to man up, and I gotta get out there because I'm a fucking cadet and I gotta graduate this program or I'm going to treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned to, first off, I learned to deal with that shit. And over time, it took me a while. It took me a couple months of torture, man, internally. But I learned to wrestle these demons. And I learned to not let my anxiety control me, and I learned to be able to guide my thoughts so I didn't have to think about these depressing things. And eventually, you can work your way up to thinking about the depressing things and still looking at it in a positive light and having it not affect you so bad or at all. So I learned to do these things, and when I tamed the demons that I had, I was able to control my thoughts. I could think about whatever I wanted. I didn't have to worry about anything internally. And that's when I made it to the other side of the body of water, and I just started, and dude, I still had like 3.5 months of the academy where I was doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I got as many philosophy books as I could fucking get my hands on, and I was really lucky because I was seeing an outpatient therapist at the time. I got to see him once a month, and they were pretty lenient on like your medical passes. They didn't give you a specific time to come back, so you could milk it like an hour or two. But some dudes like left all day, and they got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You could always milk it a couple extra hours, and they wouldn't even say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go to my outpatient therapist, and I'd go get like a cup of coffee, and then I'd go to get some books. And my dad was really cool. He would give me like $20, and I just go like to Tidal Wave, and I would just like grab as many books as I could get, and I'd go and I'd read them all cover to cover, and I would take notes on it, and I would take notes on what I liked about the book, and then I would analyze it, and I would do my own analysis of the notes and what I thought, and eventually I started putting shit together, and I started coming up with my own core belief system out of what these guys were saying. It was inspiring ideas of my own, so things just started coming together, and once I found my foundation, what I felt like I could truly believe in without dispute, then I started building off of that, and that was about 2 months in. That was about a month and a half in. So I still had like 2 months to just build off of that, and I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when I got out of the academy, things were stagnant for a while because I was in love, quote unquote. But and then when that ended, I didn't believe in anything. Because it really made me question the things that I thought were true about the things around me, and it really fucked me up. But it wasn't too long. It was like a month and a half or something, and then things started to look a little differently, and I started to learn things, and then the things around me started popping up, where I wouldn't even be looking into the subject, and I would read an article, or I would see something on Netflix, and it would just like, or I'd read a lyric, and it would be like smack dab right in my face, and I just kept piecing these things together, and I realized that the darkness I had felt, it wasn't negating what I had previously thought. It was just, it added. It was just to a deeper level. It helped me encompass things even greater, and then I started couch surfing for a while, and then I read some Friedrich Nietzsche, and that really sparked. Twilight of the Idols, Friedrich Nietzsche. I read that sparked it again, and then this podcast started, and things have just went to a completely different level, and that's where I'm at now. What I told you. So.
I just can't think of stuff to say right now. It's too much coming in. It's fucking crazy. When is Thane coming?
I don't know, man. He said he was coming, but I'll go ahead and stop this for a second.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, dude.
Ready for this shit?
I'm ready
out
for this shit.
on a silver platter for your mind?
Yeah.
To eat?
Yes.
For me to splatter?
Yeah.
All over your brain? Like dark matter?
Ask Kiki if he's ready.
God, I'm on such a different track now. Okay. So, I don't know why I said manipulation. It's not really manipulation, but you know how you're talking about the funnel and how like you can start to funnel. What were you talking about that you could funnel like your unconscious or something when you get them connected?
Yeah, you can filter what you see consciously, and then it ekes and it funnels into your subconscious and unconscious.
Well, you said you could like funnel your thoughts. I thought you said that anyway. I'm
sure I said that, but I don't remember the context.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure you're talking about funneling your thoughts. At least I think so. And so, literally, I think this was last night or the night before. I don't know, but I've been thinking a lot and staying up late and stuff. But I was thinking about how like maybe when we start syncing up these things and realizing whatever they make you realize, that I can't even put it into words. But like when you start syncing these things up, you can. I say manipulate people, but it's not manipulating people, but it's like you can do what you want with a person and it won't like affect you in a way, and you'll know exactly what you're doing and like how it plays out kind of like in your head, because it's kind of like you're guiding your unconscious by yourself because you have it synced up. So it's like you kind of have that ability more, so you can use it. And you can kind of manipulate people and get what you want that way. And that's pretty much exactly what I was thinking the other night. And then you gave me this theory. And now I'm, like, overlapping that and putting that together. And I'm like, that might be what it is. But maybe not. But, I mean, I just had that theory come up. So, why not record it?
That certainly makes sense. People have demonized the word manipulation in this...
Yeah, they really have. That's why I didn't want to use it.
Yeah, but manipulation isn't a bad thing.
Oh, well, it can be and it can't be. I mean,
exactly.
Obviously.
I mean, yeah, everything can be used in a bad way.
Right.
but manipulation isn't
Water.
always a bad thing.
Literally anything can be used in a bad way. Anything.
Of course. But manipulation is a superpower. The ability to successfully manipulate someone and or seduce someone, it's a superpower, dude, because it's an art. And really, dude,
What do you mean by superpower?
If you get good at manipulation, because really, dude, it's just a bunch of systematic rules that most people, dude, they don't act on their own. They act through their random bullshit filters, subconscious and unconscious.
Yeah.
So that means that since everyone's getting all this feed from the same social media, generally speaking, these people are acting on the same terms.
So it's like you can predict it.
So you can predict it, and you absolutely can, dude. Like I've looked into this stuff. I can predict a lot of behavior, and it's just a matter of looking into it.
Yeah.
And so once you learn that, I mean, you can predict people's behavior, and you can kind of
do what you need to do
make
to
the
get
odds in your
the
favor.
reaction that you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But then I was like wondering, when you gave me your theory, if they kind of synced up, I guess.
No, that definitely makes sense. And so that's what I'm saying. Manipulation is a superpower. Because if you can do it successfully, you can pretty much get people to do what you want.
What do you mean, like?
So and so you can, just like any superpower, you can use it for good or evil.
What's another example of a superpower that we get?
Oh, I'm not saying it literally speaking. It's just like an analogy.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Because it's really fucking powerful to where it could be like a superpower. I mean,
manipulation, man.
There are
that literally exists.
There are so I can't think of any of the Huntress from Marvel Comics. There are so many females in comic books that have the power, like the literal power to seduce.
Yeah, they really do. That's true.
That is so. Then seduction.
I feel like there's an
seduction is a form of manipulation, so therefore manipulation is a superpower.
Wait, it's a form of what? Therefore, it is.
Seduction is a form of manipulation.
Oh, so seduction is too?
Yeah. So therefore, these women, these villains, these villainesses in the comic books, their power is manipulation.
They can use they
can manipulate so well that it's become a literal charm. Use it.
Yeah,
and that translates to real life too, dude. People can get it down to such an exact science that it's almost like a charm. You can put them under your spell. That's literally possible to do.
Fucking strippers.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's just what came to my mind, though. That's fucking wow. I don't know how significant that is, but I think that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's. Huh?
How much more recording do we have to do?
God's tree. No, you're talking to Magnolia. You must be idiotic and I'm always toxic. I come around and leak poison into your food. I shit on your food and I got the mercury in the food that I serve to your kid. Cause you know it's dolphin eating fucking tuna. I trick you and then I take your girlfriend and spoon her. You know, and swim with the sharks. You know, come around and then dark. Cause I'm a ninja. I'm fucking talented and you know I ain't dark like a squid. But I go to Yellowstone National Park and I take pictures. Cause I like cheesecake. That's fucking bomb. They don't have that shit in Taiwan. Oh, shit.
Dude, we just gotta switch it up.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, we're not doing it.
I'm gonna break my funny views.
Fucking incredible.
Right?
It did not do bad. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I was 14. I just turned 15. I went through a really bad breakup, and I was just, dude, I was 15. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know. I didn't handle it very well for a little bit, But so what I did was like in my head. So what I did is I just put it all out on paper, and I wrote that thing. It's 70 pages about, and I wrote it in 5 days because I would come home from school. I didn't do any homework. I wrote on my laptop, and then I ate, and then I wrote, and then I slept. And
That's
I did
how
that
it
for
goes,
5
dude.
days. Yeah.
That's how it goes. Like, you just, like you could have it all bottled up in your head, but, like, it just takes, like, one thing to get you going, and then when you get going, at least that's how I feel when I fucking write. I don't write, like, books and shit, though. I just write, like, I do, like, rants and journal entries.
I do that as well, though.
Yeah.
That's what inspired this podcast.
Okay.
I had so many fucking notes on my phone.
Yeah.
Ron had so many notes on his phone.
Yeah.
We were just like, dude, we
just start recording.
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
I wanted to do that when I was on acid because, like, I wanted to be able to explain to myself after I was done tripping, like, how everything felt. But I couldn't fucking do it. Like, things were so trippy that, like, I like couldn't even find the words to like explain what was going on.
Really?
And like every time I thought I had it, it'd slip away, dude. It was so trippy.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's happened to me a little bit. But
nuts.
yeah. So in the book, it's basically it was a metaphor for depression and like grief. You know, just the stages of depression or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Or the stages of grief or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, the 5 stages of well, I mean, you could be talking about the 5 stages of death.
But that equates to anything, or like loss.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. You know,
so
denial.
Yeah, and there's a Bible quote I got from the King James version, and man, I wish I had a copy on me, but I don't have one in my room right now. But it was something about like fear not, have faith. The devil will give you like tribulation for 10 days, but if you steadfast, like you will receive the crown of God or whatever.
Yeah,
and
so it's saying like if you pull through, you just gotta pull.
Yeah, so what I did was I had my character. He wakes up in a bathtub with his wrist slit. Has no idea how he got there. I named him Corey T. Aston. I just thought Aston was. I like Sean Aston.
Yeah.
From Rudy, and
oh yeah.
and I was listening to Slipknot a lot at the time. In fact, a Slipknot lyric kicks off the book. But so I named the character after Corey Taylor, the vocalist. But
yeah.
So he wakes up, has no idea how he got there. In his bathtub, his wrists are slit. He starts freaking out. Gets out of the bathtub, and he sees written in lipstick on his mirror the words "Answer it." So then the phone starts to ring. So.
Shit.
He runs to the phone. This modulated voice says, "Your wife has just left you, taken all your money and all your belongings. She's gone, and your dog, your beloved dog, your best friend, he is dead across the street. Someone hit him.
Oh
what the fuck are you gonna do about it?" And he says,
"What's a modulated voice? Is that like
the
robot thing?
Like the kidnapper voice?"
Yeah, okay.
And so he says, like, "Look under the sink." So Corey goes and he looks under the sink. And he sees super glue and a revolver, 357 Magnum with one bullet. So basically, he can either shoot himself in the head or he can try and like super glue his wrist shut before he bleeds out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so through a series of events, he has to go and figure out what the fuck is going on with his wife. But also, there's a couple more phone calls. He ends up finding a briefcase with like a couple $1 million taped to the bottom of his dining room table.
Nice.
So he puts that in his backpack. He's like, fuck whoever is like setting this up or whatever. I gotta go find my wife. So he's going to her work. Through a series of events, he ends up dying.
Oh shit.
But instead of dying, going off to wherever we go, he wakes up in the bathtub with his wrist slit at the beginning of the day again. And so I got inspiration from that Bible quote. So he goes through that 10 times.
Damn.
Yeah. And things he starts losing his mind. Things start to get really fucking crazy. But it's
fucking cool.
But it's all going through the stages of loss, and eventually it's acceptance.
That sounds like a fucking acid trip to me. That doesn't sound just like psychedelics. That sounds like that's kind of how. Fuck, man. That's like this crazy like. Is there like an element of like reincarnation going on there?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. It's interpretive, really, but
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, absolutely.
But it's got the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking cool, dude. That's like relative to modern science. You know what I mean?
How so?
In everything that we are learning about the human brain.
Oh yeah.
I mean that sounds like how did you come up with that?
I don't know. It just
because it's very like
I'm trying to
unique.
Yeah, well, the only thing I would say would be like it was Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray.
Never seen it.
It's a movie. He's a reporter. He goes to do the he goes to report the annual Groundhog Day, or the weatherman or whatever. And then after that day, he leaves and he wakes up in that small town, and basically it repeats the day over and over, and crazy shit happens. But I honestly swear to God, didn't know anything about that movie at the time.
Yeah.
So I came up with this all on my own, as far as consciously, dude. I could have heard about it subconsciously, and it could have worked through, but
But I mean that's kind of everything.
Right. So I think what I started thinking, honestly, since I was really into Slipknot, there's a song I was just looking at, dude. I was just doing Slipknot stuff online, just like looking at whatever, and I saw like a fan interpretation or whatever of their song "Wait and Bleed," which is like a pretty good song. I like it. It's not like my favorite by them, but and they were talking about how like the lyrics describe like somebody bleeding out in a bathtub or something, and I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. Like that sounds like at the beginning, like waking up. That sounds like the beginning of a horror novel or a horror movie or something. So I started thinking like, dude, what if that happened? Like, what would happen from there? And I started doing stuff like a modulated voice, and since I was going through my breakup at the time, it all had to do with a metaphor for a relationship.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And then I was like, okay, well, how can because with every good story there has to be that one zinger, you know, that one like brick to the face. I mean, like a lot of people don't do this, but this is how you make a good story. Is you have to have you can do something that somebody else has done before, basically. You know, like time travel. I have a time travel story that I'm working on developing. I haven't started writing really, but I mean, time travel's been so played out, but you have to do it. You have to have that one zinger that just makes it a complete one.
Like, what the fuck?
Or just the thing that weaves into the whole plot, that one thing that's just like takes it to a completely different angle that no one's ever seen before. So that one zinger for me was he dies every to 10 times, but after he dies, he wakes up in the bathtub again.
Yeah. That sounds like a film, kind of like a synopsis for a film, really.
You know what? I've had so many fucking people tell me that, and I've actually been thinking about maybe writing a screenplay for it, because I know actually my ex-girlfriend's brother, one of our first dates was going to one of his film festival he was participating in, and his film won the award.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like I'm still on pretty good terms with her. So I talked to your brother still, and we were talking. I don't think it would happen like the near future, but like maybe sometime.
Dude, are you into making films? Because I was fucking doing that. Me and Canyon were.
Yeah, well, because I've been talking to him, and he said, like I said, maybe not in the near future, but sometime in the future, we were talking about the possibility of maybe like doing a small budget film about my novel. Like, because honestly, dude, I never thought like I would try to make it into a movie, but I feel like the universe is hinting at me, because I have had so many people have that uncanny feeling that you just described to me. Like, dude, that sounds like a movie synopsis. I've even heard that terminology used before, and so I'm like, okay, maybe I should look into this.
No, dude, that's how it works. That's absolutely how it works.
Yeah.
Fucking, there's so many like quote unquote conspiracy theories, and they're so like, you know, psychedelics has just like this massive like potential.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
He put this dumbass picture on Facebook. I'm surprised. And I mean, like I don't want to get into an abortion debate with you guys, because that's totally.
Nah, dude, go for it.
But his picture said.
Here we go, we're recording this. Go ahead, get into
his
the
picture.
abortion debate.
You're recording this.
Yeah. Altered Boy Podcast Extended Session number 3.
Extended session.
We have
director's cut, dude. Director's cut.
We have Mr. TJ Conley here, and we have Mr. Lucas Brown here. We have TJ on specifically, discoursing with me, I guess, and Lucas is here. Yep. Lucas is here developing our Alter Boy podcast mascot, soon to come. So lay this on us, TJ.
Alright, so Steven's picture said, if you hold a petri dish with an unborn, or with a fetus in it, an unborn fetus, and on the other hand, you hold a live baby, it says, which would you rather drop? So there is a difference. Admitted. Abortion is not wrong. Specifically on that premise. No, he said nothing else. So regardless of your opinion on abortion, that is the worst argument I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Oh yeah, it absolutely
a
does.
Petri dish with a fetus that's obviously already dead because it's in a fucking Petri dish.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to say is that
It's like
is
a
that
fetus inside of
Exactly.
a woman compared to a live baby.
yeah, and it's like that is the worst logic. So I just went on this rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this massive rant about how much of a like how Steven was like seriously doing something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
Putting that picture out there because
Absolutely.
it's not even like a because I mean some people are stupid, dude. Some people are gonna look at that and be like, "Wow, like
Yeah.
that actually kind of makes sense."
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna I don't even give a fuck anymore. Like,
Yeah,
and I mean,
for real.
like I'm not saying that people's opinion on abortion is gonna make a change, but I mean the fact of the matter is that shit like that will neutralize you. You know, like like I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say that I don't play video games that have violence in them. That definitely contributes to my like, or not even to my, but to our generation's, you know, psyche as a whole. That we like.
Yo,
I don't-
TV and everything
yeah,
these
dude.
days.
And I mean, I think it's preparing us. It's preparing us, dude, for fucking
For what's
shit's
coming.
gonna hit. Yeah, dude, because like.
Can you imagine if shit
obviously-
hit the fan back in the 50s?
Dude, shit was hitting the fan. Yeah, I mean, it was in a way, you know, like
I mean, like
civil rights and
yeah.
shit was different back then, dude. Shit was more like, I don't want to say authentic, but it was definitely like, you know, how old do you have grandparents?
Yeah.
Do you guys have anybody that you can talk to that like will tell you about the Great Depression? Like that's crazy shit to hear about.
Yeah, I might. Maybe.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
That's crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because,
It's awesome talking to your grandparents about anything, dude. Just
Oh,
like listening to their stories about the war or whatever.
Yeah, dude. Anything back then. Life was totally different. I almost feel like. Have you got? I think I asked you this time. I'll ask Lucas though. Have you ever seen the Truman Show? Did I ask you?
Yes. Love that movie.
Have you seen that, Lucas? Jim
No, I
Carrey?
haven't.
Like that's kind of how that's kind of how I feel like the whole. I don't want to say United States as a whole because, I mean that's a totally different topic.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I brought that book.
Yeah.
But fucking. It would make sense, dude. It would make sense that our generation is the one that's gonna get pumped full of sugar, fucking video games all the time, you know. And I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that marijuana is, you know.
Helping.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
It's not. I mean, people have their, you know, Caleb at the pool, dude. He drinks like 2 monsters a day. My mom, coffee fiend. Fucking, like everybody's got that, dude.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people choose to ostracize certain things. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, it started because of money, and I'm specifically speaking about pot.
Yeah.
You know, the hemp industry was.
Yep. No.
It was huge, dude.
Yeah, the
Pharmaceutical
guy in
companies.
power back then, and like, he owned the lumber industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he outlawed hemp
Did you know?
to keep the lumber industry.
Have you guys
going.
heard of Monsanto? It's that GMO company.
Yes, I have. Tell me about it. Yeah.
They grew weed for the federal government from like the 1960s to the 1980s or 90s.
I've heard about that.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
That the government is growing the weed that we're smoking.
Well,
and it's
you know what else, dude? The part of the whole reason we're in Afghanistan is because our troops are guarding the poppy fields.
damn straight.
Yep.
Dude. That's some real shit.
They have footage, like this isn't even in dispute. You can't deny that they were there. They were troops. They were like Geraldo Rivera has a piece that you can find on the internet where he's talking to the troops, asking them why they're guarding our like these poppy fields, and they say because we don't want the terrorists to come and get them. But you know what?
It's a huge source of income.
Yeah, but you know what? That's bullshit because the heroin goes against the Muslim extremists' beliefs. So the troops are guarding it because the terrorists are trying to burn down the poppy fields that our government planted.
Yeah.
That's one of the only reasons we're there.
Straight, dude. Absolutely. And that combined with the fact that, every fucking Middle East country has a United States puppet in it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean by puppet. That also goes back to the shock doctrine. A puppet is what, like Saddam Hussein. There's always got to be somebody that's got to take the blame. That's why in court, Saddam Hussein is just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I am being thrown under the bus here.
Yeah.
Like, the judge is worse than me. Like that guy fucking, I saw him shoot somebody. And maybe that's, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the whole thing is just fucked up.
Yeah.
And anybody that tells you that it's not is usually has special interests, or they're just a useful idiot. You know what I mean? A useful idiot? Like a greenie.
Yeah.
People that stop major oil projects. People that are like, oh, we got to save the fucking whales, or no, you can't put the Sioux Sitna River Dam in because it's going to hurt the fish population. This is what people were saying back in like the 1970s. The Sioux Sitna Dam up in Madawaska Valley. That river dam could have provided enough electricity for not only Alaska, but I'm sure several more Alaskas. There's gonna be 3 river dams up there. It was a huge project. They're just now starting it. And you know what they found out?
What?
The salmon don't even swim that far to the stream.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they're doing it now.
Oh. Wow.
How fucking ridiculous is that?
Wow.
But it makes sense, like look at the court system. Look at how bogged up that shit is. You get fucking, I don't know, let me think of an example. Because say you're trying to take your spouse to court, and you're trying to get a divorce, and your spouse is trying to take away your kids, or get an unfair, what's it called, a prenup.
Yeah.
Well, that could take you up to 2 years. Like that's how bogged up shit is. That's how bureaucratic everything is. Yeah. There's all these.
It's all so dramatic for no reason.
Absolutely, yeah. There's all these rules and these things in place that that's why people say democracy. That's its flaw, is that it's so fucking slow, and the reason it's so slow is because then nobody will give a fuck. Nobody even wants to learn that shit.
That's beautiful, dude.
Dude, that looks like some shit out of Alice in Wonderland right there.
That's beautiful.
Now you want a joint hanging out of his mouth?
Yeah.
Give him a fat joint.
Yeah, a really fat joint.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And a nice cloud of smoke.
And not to go on several tangents here. That's but that's how my brain works. So.
But it's so strange in this country. It's in our legal system. It's in our government and our politics, and because of that, it's into us. And it's been hardwired into us that everything is so fucking dramatic.
But,
you hear the news reporters. They're not talking like normal people.
No.
It's like it's all exaggerated and it's like almost like robotic-ish,
Yeah, dude. That's why people say the moon landing was a fake. It's because everything is like we are watching the rest of the world. Our TV is even if you don't watch TV, we are still. There's 2 kinds of people in this world. There's those that have and those that don't.
Yeah.
We have. There's not many of us left.
Yeah.
And when the National Guard and the military, when their families aren't getting paid, and when they don't have food, they're going to throw their guns down and say, fuck it. And that's when it's going to turn into... Like, why do you think they made the movie The Purge?
Dude, that's a weird idea.
Terminator.
Yeah.
The Purge is a crazy
Terminator.
idea.
I saw a video...
What if people started doing that?
Oh, no, absolutely.
That is
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It was a fantastic movie, I thought.
Look at Terminator. Boston College, I saw a video on their website. They've already developed walking... Like, this thing is made of millions and millions of wires. So those wires serve as the, brain-computer interface. That's what the signals get sent to. It's like a really... I'm sure whoever developed it, maybe they weren't developing it for malicious reasons, but it's going to be used for malicious reasons.
Absolutely, dude. I've been telling everybody about this. The 2045 project.
What?
The 2045 project.
Never heard of that.
It's this Russian billionaire, multi-billionaire. He hired the top minds in the world, and he has them all, and he's had them all for the past couple of years working towards a goal, which is being able to use exactly what you just said, and because they have successfully downloaded a consciousness into
which
a robot.
Is crazy.
Yeah, and so they think if you can just develop that, and that's what they're working towards, you can put it into a lifelike body. You can literally create a human because it's a lifelike robot body, and the consciousness is technically downloaded because it has all of our habits, our characteristics, all of our thought processes. It has everything that makes us who we are.
See, what you're saying is absolutely true, except it's going to be on a way bigger level. They're developing cells now that have nanotechnology that can run a cell. A fucking cell. That means that thing can multiply and like they're starting to be able to create life, man, like out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be soon. They're almost finished mapping the human brain. I mean, they're going to be able to. They're going to have a machine.
Do you think they'll be cloning?
Fuck yeah. Well,
definitely.
I think it'll be
I don't know
more,
if it'll be a priority.
Have you ever seen The Island?
No,
I think it'll be more of an insurance policy, as in like they'll clone people. The people that are rich will be able to get clones of them for like a heart transplant if they need a heart transplant. Yeah. Right then, they have something. They need
that's
a
a good idea.
Every Spider-Man fan knows that clones are very bad.
Should watch The Island.
I will.
Dude,
I've heard it's good.
it is.
Never heard of it.
But anyway, what were we talking about? Oh shit.
They're gonna.
Spider-Man.
They have the nanotechnology.
Right,
now,
right.
And it's ridiculous. I mean, they have a machine now that they can hook it. I mean, I don't know if they have it yet. I saw this on
What time?
Futurescape with James Woods. And it's this machine that they hook up to your brain.
This is packed too tight now.
No, sorry.
That's alright.
And do you have anything that I can unclog with?
Yeah.
And they hook it up to your brain, and they have a screen, and it can play back your entire life from your perspective, just like the screen basically plays it from your perspective, from your eyes. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like that's like some advanced interrogation technique that they're gonna be able to use eventually. Right?
Yeah. Shit is
Not
going
that
to
I'm
hit the
worried about
fans
that,
soon.
because I mean I'm not really like on the government's top list of
Yeah,
people
but
to interrogate. But the point is that we're living in a crazy age.
things are expanding.
Speaking of which, teacher, do you ever talk to Tyler McDonald anymore?
No, actually, I definitely hit him up a bunch though.
Yeah,
but he's always busy. Or something.
I wouldn't call their house anymore because.
I don't call the house. I text him.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're under
surveillance.
Yeah, by the FBI.
Wow.
I was told that by the troopers and shit.
I was told that drug dealing.
Yeah, I think, and like running shit, but like. Yeah, but I'm not sure. I do not know. I'm just saying.
Hope nothing happens.
I would be careful going over or whatever.
No, I haven't been over there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, me neither. Just saying, I heard that.
But no, yeah. Supposed time traveling techniques. What an interesting name for this file. No, I read this as far as I know. You have a lucid dream, or at least try to.
Yeah, I've lucid dreamed a little bit. I don't have it mastered by any means, though.
But like you've tried to induce it.
Yeah, and I've been able to do it like to an extent.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. Yeah, I've gotten to hallucinating with like blobs of colors, just like float, and my body was paralyzed. Like
Yeah.
It's definitely rough though. And I mean, if you're smoking weed all the time, it's not gonna work. You gotta do it when you're fucking sober for at least a couple days.
What was I gonna do? Right. So.
Is this really gonna do this to me? It's not even gonna give me any data? Oh, okay, no, there it is. So, here's a... Well, this thing cost me like $1,000 to use at Best Buy, and it's already fucking... I got it like a year and a half ago, and it's already fucking going out on me.
Really? Yeah. So they do, they design it.
Huh?
That's how they design it.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, most people would say, well, that's just you're just fucking negative as fuck. But no, that's true.
That's literally how they design it, so you buy more.
It's true.
So you keep buying it. Yeah.
I mean, we're so advanced, we don't realize it. We don't realize how unexposed we are as the public to the types of technologies and stuff that.
They always say the government's like 30 years ahead of.
I'm sure years has nothing to do with it. I'm sure it's just such an obscene gap that doesn't even fucking matter. It's just like it's just absurd what they know and we don't. They know about aliens. They know about everything, dude. And what we know is all Who's to say that it's not all engineered? Who's to say that they have been controlling the internet since the very beginning?
Right.
And they're just engineering our fucking minds.
Hey, what are your views? What are your views on aliens? That's been a recurring theme in the show.
I don't want to say I believe in aliens, but the possibility is that I'm not gonna. We're so small compared to what the rest of the universe is.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think there should be a dispute in any logical person's mind.
No, there's no dispute.
Whether the fact there's life somewhere out there, but do you believe that there's any shit going on around here?
You mean like aliens?
Like alien activity on Earth?
I don't. I mean, I grew up a strict Catholic, dude. I grew up a really, really strict Catholic, so that's rooted into my background. So I mean, we'll talk about fucking the Book of Genesis, or at least I think that's the creation story, right? Yeah, and then Adam and Eve, and
right.
That the fall from Eden, I'm sure, was us. There's a lot of theories, I guess. Not theories, but there's a lot of I couldn't quote somebody that has said this before, but the fall from Eve or Eden could be a neurological thing. It could be what our brains used to be able to do, and I mean that's why not? Because we already know the immense potential of it. Mm-hmm. Neuroscience right now is fucking crazy. All science right now is fucking crazy. It's all starting to interweave, and everything's kind of starting to form this big picture. We're going to be able to. They're going to be able to become immortal eventually. The elite.
Yeah.
They will be able to. And it's not going to be for us.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So in terms of aliens around here, I'm sure there's. That's why I kept bringing up the Truman Show. We could just be a little experiment that people are watching. Because it makes sense. Our brain has many flaws. It's very easy to lie to yourself.
For a while, I thought that's what God was. We were an experiment. God was just watching us and studying.
Dude, God is crazy. Like, just even in a good way, of course. Maybe crazy is not the right word. But just thinking about it. I mean, I don't know how anybody can say that they're an atheist. I just don't. I'm not advocating a religion. I'm just saying that I don't know how anybody can say that we were just an accident,
right?
Just a genetic mutation.
Do you believe that there's one creator? Do you believe in like the more radical like Eastern beliefs, like the collectivity, the flow?
No, I believe in a combination of that, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't so much say I believe in that. I'd say that idea is what I find the most comfort in, because that's really what belief means, right?
Right.
Belief means the most that you can, the thing that you can best relate to, the thing that makes most sense to you, and the thing that you are going to put your faith in because it gives you comfort. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is that nobody knows what happens after you die because you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't care if you go into cardiac arrest and then you write a book and make millions in Barnes and Noble.
Right, there's they're talking.
That's just taking advantage of how fucking gullible we are and how we're always, like curiosity, dude. What if that's just been the whole thing the whole time,
Yeah.
What if there is no conspiracy? What if it's just been fucking humans being curious, and then humans being curious turns into this mass expansion of population where provinces start to form and people start to band together, and then resources start to become contested for, and then violence. But I'm not sure exactly. That you take an anthropology class for that, which is something that my buddy Nick is doing, which is why he's like a useful and a good friend.
Nice. We should have him on the show sometime.
Well, he he goes UAA, so he's just taking a bunch of classes. So
Yeah.
he knows his shit about that. I don't know if useful was the right word there. That implies that he's like a tool, and he's not. And he's not. He's a good friend. Anyways, though, I'm gonna try to pull this chart up for you.
Alright.
Give me more bars.
The Wi-Fi sucks down here sometimes.
Oh no, it's not even about the Wi-Fi. I haven't even hooked up to the internet. I'm trying to expand this chart. This is. Yeah, that was more or less a rant, though, right there.
It's
Sorry.
good shit. No, it's all good. Good stuff.
Damn. See, I don't know why it's not giving me. Okay, this one's decent. So this would be a chart since. Damn, dude, I need to get even. Do I need to get even bigger bars here? I should have saved this chart, and I could just show you right away. I should pull it up. Alright, so this necessarily isn't necessarily the best one I could find on here, but for, matters of time.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to be able to really show you the crash of 29, but I mean, that's because when the stock market started out, it was, the Dow Jones was down in like the 500s.
Right.
So obviously the scale is, because now it's up at like 15,500. That's not even what it's at right now. It was actually at 16,500, maybe even 17,000 like
Wow.
a month ago. So, but you can see how there's a significant decline here right in 1929. Not that that's relative, but I mean, here's this is where the movie The Wolf of Wall Street started. Right here, the crash of '86. That's when he gets fired. And have you seen the movie?
No, I know what it is though.
Okay. So basically this is when it'd be called the largest secular bull market in the history of like pretty much economics. Really happens right here, and this is the 1990s. This is when America was pretty much. This is when it was. I would say its happiest. Right here. Right here, and then it started to recede backwards in a natural fashion. Okay, that's just how markets perform. But then here in 2010, or I mean, 2007, 2008, the crash of 2007, 2008. This is just a fucking massive credit implosion, and you can see this is what's called an expanding triangle. So lower lows, higher highs. So the general theory, and we've already reached it. I'll zoom in and show you. Do you see how the line extends red?
Yeah.
You see how the black isn't necessarily up there.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it's past that already. Okay. There's what's called the margin debt. So that's basically how much money you borrowed and how much you owe to that, how much you owe on the money that you borrowed. So the last time the margin debt on the New York Stock Exchange was even close to what it is right now was right here. At the peak of 2009, we have surpassed that way fucking, and I mean, if you want to get old school, talk about Dow theory, just like, for some reason, the volume's fucked up on here, but you see these bars down here, these red and green ones, so, volume accelerated, obviously, up through here, it dropped there, I'll pull up a different chart. So this would be January 2009. Okay. This is the bottom of the crash. Look at volume.
What does volume mean?
Volume is how much cash, how many shares are being traded.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
So this represents the New York or the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which has 30 stocks, and they're pretty much like the blue chip stocks. They're the 30 wealthiest companies, and maybe not necessarily wealthiest because Apple's not in the New York Stock Exchange, but they're definitely like they're durable companies. They're famous. They're out there. They've been around for a long time. They've been birthed of companies that have been massive in the past. A good example would be General Electric. They've been there forever. So basically, check out volume. Dow theory says that volume has to support the trend. Volume has steadily gone down since 2009, and we've done nothing but surpass what happened. So, I mean, not to be the negative Nancy, man, but we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, I concur. I agree with
that's where that's where my future's headed. That's why I'm not going to college. I'm focusing on saving money so that I can get the things that I need.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, so what exactly do you imagine? What do you predict when you say that shit's gonna hit the fan?
when the stock market crashes, shit's not gonna be bad right off the bat. It's gonna take a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of finance, shit's gonna be awful. But finance takes a while. Not a while, but
Takes a little bit.
there'll be weeks.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple weeks before shit starts to before the president starts to take over. Because he's already said in his State of the Union address that he is going to ignore the Constitution.
What? Really?
Yeah. He has no problem with it, and he has the ability. No, Thomas Jefferson, I think. Sorry, John Adams said if the United States were to ever, what is it? Damn, where's my phone? Do you have the internet there?
It's really slow, man.
Basically, he's saying that if we are ever to invade a foreign country, it will be under the guise, Guise, of a threat from a foreign power, of like so-called Al Qaeda or
Al Qaeda is just our government.
In a way, at the basic roots, absolutely. It's made up of a lot of useful idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I wouldn't call them useful idiots actually, because in my belief, I think everyone is a victim except for the fucks that engineered all this. I think we're all fucking victims of a brain that is engineered to have all these vulnerabilities and all these flaws. But I mean, in a way, that's what that's what life is.
Yeah.
Finding out what your fucking brain's for.
All right. So after the 2 weeks, things start to get really bad financially.
Well, all you really have to do is look at history. I mean, look at the Great Depression. The currency was completely demolished. The whole economy was reformed. It was, I mean, one could almost argue that the Great Depression was, I mean, I believe that it was engineered. Just like the Panic of 1808, I think.
What is that?
No, Panic of 1908. It was when, I think it was Rockefeller spread, I can't remember exactly, but I mean, I do know that it was a very large, like, fall in the stock market.
Oh, okay.
Overall percentage-wise. And it was due to, the same thing that the Rothschilds did after Waterloo, the Battle of Waterloo.
Not really.
When Napoleon lost, Rothschild basically had been financing the British. He had been the one that been financing that whole war movement against Napoleon in the early 1800s. So when Napoleon lost at Waterloo, the Rothschilds are a banking dynasty. They've been around for a long time. They're very powerful. They have a lot of connections. They have courier systems. They can get news much faster than anyone else. Way faster. So he receives news that Napoleon won, that Napoleon lost, but he's got this scheme going that if he fucking is just up in his little trading room, because I mean that's how it works. Obviously, when you control that much of the market, he's up there like acting all depressed, like fuck, we're all fucked, you know. And they all see that, and everybody starts selling. Everybody sells the entire, and then and when everybody sells, the price just drops farther and farther and farther and farther and farther, and then it gets down to nothing. And Rothschild just buys all of it up. He buys up the entire British government. The entire British government. He buys it up in terms of government bonds, municipal bonds, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I mean, so there's a lot of theories as to who's controlling it. You know, there's people that say that the revolution was engineered by the British, and that it was just a ploy for greater control. You know. Because, I mean, honestly...
That's always been a great mystery to me, how the fuck America actually won the revolution.
The great powers that represent different countries all work together. They do, in a way. I'm not so sure about Napoleon, because I've seriously read a lot of history about Napoleon. I've read several books, and it all gives me the impression that he was kind of an arrogant guy. He made a lot of stupid decisions in battle towards the end of his career. But he was, like, the ideas that the French Revolution were spreading were sweeping, like, the entire continent. Had Napoleon not invaded Spain, actually, had he just focused his armies on maybe a northern invasion of Russia, something from the Baltic Sea or the Black Sea, history would have been totally different, dude. Because that was what made the British Empire. Was defeating Napoleon, Lord Wellington. That was what. I mean, I'm not sure that that's not the sole reason, of course.
Right.
But that was definitely like when Britain was the one that defeated Napoleon. All of Europe was like, fuck, like we couldn't do that. Nobody else could do it. The Russians couldn't do it. Napoleon invaded Russia and he beat them, but his whole army starved to death. So in a way, he lost.
Yeah.
But so had the British Empire never emerged, there never would have been us, you know. There never would have been in America. History would have been totally different.
Strange way of looking at it.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
But
honestly, I've never thought about that, and I honestly I believe it, but that does kind of make a little bit of sense to me that the British would orchestrate.
That's why.
Because there's no, I feel like there's no fucking way we could have pulled that off. I've always thought that, and I've always thought that it was just so miraculous, and it was hard to believe.
And I mean, most people would say that's like an extreme thought, but it's really not.
No, it's not.
You know, look at BP, Dutch Shell Oil. You know, just look where the money's going, man. The banking capital of the world is in the heart of London.
Yeah.
The heart of London.
Yeah.
I mean, some people say, and I can't tell you the author. I could look up the article for you on the internet. I mean, if you want to find it verbatim, you would type in Count Hans Kolvenbach. You can type Kolvenbach however you feel like it. It'll still probably show up.
All right.
And the Black Pope. It's not about a Black Pope. The Black Pope is a term for the leader of the Jesuits, which is like an order in the Catholic Church. And that's something that's crazy as fuck to me too. Is that the more and more you look into this stuff on the internet, the more and more religion plays a role. And it's like, wow, like religion was such a huge part of my life. Like, is this a coincidence that my dad talked about like how shitty and how the devil has entered the Catholic Church? Because my dad's a strict Catholic, but he's an old school Catholic. He doesn't like what the fuck's going on.
My uncle is the same way. He doesn't go to act like any congregational churches anymore. He does his worshiping in the house because because he says like there's the Catholic Church Reformation in like the 70s.
The Vatican II, which was
Vatican II. That's what it was. And he says because they changed.
I'm not sure when that was.
It was 60s or 70s.
No. I don't.
I guarantee.
I don't think so though.
I guarantee. I was just talking to him about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive.
I thought it was in like I thought Pius XII had something to do with it.
I'm not familiar with the names.
I know that there was also a Vatican I, and it was.
But basically
the same thing.
Yeah,
same problems.
Vatican II is them just what?
I have a book on that that I'll give you.
Oh, okay. It's them just like making changes wherever they want, and honestly, like I don't really necessarily think that a religion with that many guidelines is a good thing. I think you should be able to come up with those personal guidelines on your own. But I think if, like my uncle, dude, he just grew up in a different era. He's in his 50s now. Like he finds peace with religion, and he understands. I talked to him about what we're talking about right now. He understands that we're fucked.
Yeah.
But he doesn't mind, dude. He's just like along for the ride. Just,
well, we're not fucked because there's still time, dude.
Yeah.
There's still time.
But he how was I tying that in? Let me try and remember.
I'm gonna hit that pipe.
Yeah, go for
You
it.
hit it?
Yeah.
You been open the window or?
Yeah. But what the fuck? He Right. So what I was saying was I feel like if you have a religion and in your religion and you subscribe to that religion, that's your thing, and the powers that be, after the religion's been around for thousands and thousands of years, just decide to change it.
Yeah.
Like that's not how it goes, dude. Like,
dude,
in my opinion, I think if you're gonna go with religion, then it's copping out. You know, like if you're trying to change the rules of the religion, that means the religion failed. We should try something else. I'm not necessarily saying it failed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm saying that I personally think it's wrong to change entire doctrines in Christian faith.
Well,
because of
some would claim that the doctrine has remained constant, actually. Something like the infallibility of the Pope, though. You know what I mean by that? Infallibility, like without error, he cannot fuck up.
Oh yeah.
When he says something. But I mean, there's something called Canaan law, and it's like, it's, you know, all these flaws that people, you know, let's say like Martin Luther King, or not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther,
right,
when he did the 99 Theses, the Counter-Reformation basically had the Council of Trent, where they, you know, they I think they convened for like 30 years, and they finally, you know, at the end they had, I'm not sure what the name of the document was, but it was definitely something, you know, some epic thing that they released, and it basically addressed those issues. So if you look at the history, I have a book called Hitler's Pope, and I mean the title kind of implies what it's about. It's about Pope Pius XII, and something interesting is that, like, his upbringing, his whole family dynasty is all law. Like, his father was a lawyer, his grandfather, they're all lawyers for the Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not making any wild claims here, but I'm saying that I've watched The Godfather, all three of the movies, and when they go over, you know, the fucking mafia, and you know, and their relationship with the Vatican Bank, the assassination of the Pope, and one of the things I really thought was interesting was when his wife is in the second movie. Have you ever seen the movie?
Dude, it's I know it's a shame, and
I worked. I feel it. It's
dude, I worked at Blockbuster for 2.5 years, just haven't seen it yet, man.
Blockbuster.
One of the
That sounds shitty.
No, dude, it was fun. I liked
really?
it. Yeah, I really liked it actually.
I heard a lot of people complain, but no, if it's...
No, dude, it was really fun.
I can see how it would be fun, though, because you're just fucking watching movies and shit, right?
Yeah, dude, like, well, half the time, no one's fucking there. I mean, they still make plenty of money there, but really, it's just,
late fees, is that where they make the money?
Holidays, late fees, candy, and weekends. But, I mean, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still going strong, but, they're one of the only, because they have the local following in Eagle River. Okay. That's the only reason. They're not part of the Blockbuster franchise anymore. The Dish Network bought out the name Blockbuster.
Really?
Because the actual Blockbuster franchise is gone.
Yeah.
So now there's just like a random Blockbuster stores all around the U.S. that just pay Dish Network a little bit just to keep the name.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. That's smart.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing down here, and I know the manager and the assistant manager. Like, oh shit.
Oh, my bad.
No,
I should have just left that chilling.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah, dude, when customers don't come in, like, so, yeah, you work a weekday, or do you especially, like, a week morning, there's no one in there. Sometimes, like, on a Tuesday or something, there's no one in there. all fucking day.
You know,
So-
you know who Julia Matthews is?
Yeah.
She works there.
Yeah,
I've only gone there like twice.
Yeah, I just found that out. I worked there pretty much freshman year to junior year, but then I went to the academy, so I had to quit, and I haven't been able to get a job back since. Anyway, there were some really cool coworkers, although there were some really crappy ones too. But if you were on shift with one of your cool coworkers on like a Tuesday, dude, you literally got paid minimum wage to sit with a dude and just shoot the shit and watch whatever movies he wanted.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds chill as fuck,
Oh
actually.
yeah, it was pretty cool. But anyway, what oh yeah, you were talking about The Godfather.
Oh
And the
yeah,
Pope and all that.
when his wife says, when she's arguing with him and when she tells him that she got an abortion and then he slaps the shit out of her, dude.
Yeah.
Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Which is crazy
I've
to
heard
me
of that.
because I did not realize when I watched the first and the second Godfathers because they're relatively they're made relatively close together.
Mhm.
Al Pacino is Michael Corleone. You could tell in number 3 because he's old as hell.
Yeah.
But in the first 2, dude, it's like, what? That's not. He doesn't look like Al Pacino at all. Like, it's crazy. And,
Yeah.
anyways, so his wife is arguing with him. And she says that she doesn't want to be a part of him anymore, and this Sicilian thing that's been going on for thousands of years.
Mhm.
And that always struck me as kind of interesting because I know that the Sicilians were originally the Normans. They were Sicilians, and the Norman Knights were the ones that conquered. William the Conqueror, he's the one that conquered England in 1300s, I want to say, maybe 1400s. He conquered England, and I mean that was an important like moment in history that set so many things in motion. So I'm interested in that Sicilian thing, whatever the fuck she was talking about,
Yeah.
and the relationship with the Catholic Church and the England, maybe even the Church of England. You know,
Yeah.
it's history is so lucrative and just like it's
Honestly,
hard.
man.
Like when I go to Barnes and Noble, dude,
Mhm.
I get lost in that place. There's so many. There's too many books. I get frustrated because I'm just like, God, I want to read all these books
Yeah,
right
I know,
now.
right? Exactly.
Like, I could just live in there, dude.
Dude, me
I could
too. I'm the
live
same
off
way.
the cupcakes and the coffee that they have in there
Oh
and just
man,
read
it's so
books.
fucking good.
Yeah.
But so I've only been really in a deep pursuit of knowledge. I guess like what we're doing right now for the
Not
past.
even that. Just like thinking, you know.
Just I mean,
thinking,
honestly, dude. I know a lot of people who I talk with this stuff, and they're like, I'm blowing their fucking minds. But really, dude,
People put way too much like faith into that. Like they need to just like understand that it's not like we're a unique. Yeah, it's just that we've opened our. You know, you got to let the walls down, really.
Yeah, really, man. It's like I'm not any smarter than any other guy.
Exactly.
I think I've just come to more realizations than maybe the realizations that we all should come to, but some people unfortunately never do.
Yeah, right. Because people are scared, dude.
Yep.
People, you know, all this talk, everything that I've been saying, you know, to somebody that likes being in their bubble, it'll burst their bubble, dude.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, wow, now I got to change everything. Why am I even going to college? You know, if this guy's saying, and you know, that's why most people don't believe it because they're afraid of it.
Yeah, because they're afraid.
But you know, I don't have a problem with that because the people that like Canyon Sambrick, he's the one that like if the shit were to hit the fan, like me and him would combine our efforts immediately. Like,
hey, I'm in with you.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean that's just you know the circle of friends that you know like I don't watch The Walking Dead. I'm not into any of those apocalypse shows. But like I'll give you an example. I watched a movie called The Road. You ever heard
That's
of
a
that?
good fucking movie.
Yeah, hell
better
yeah,
book.
hell yeah.
Better
Oh,
book.
I've heard that. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like that's kind of how it'll be. You know.
Yeah.
Eventually. In the start, you know, I think there's going to be a global revolution eventually. People are going to get fed up. But then that's where technology is going to step in. You know, depending on whether, you know, it's either, maybe it's a kill switch. Maybe it's a virus, dude. Ask Hollywood, because they seem to fucking have all these ideas. And they're pumping all these stupid fucking things into people's heads. And they're confusing the shit out of everybody. Because nobody knows what the fuck's going on. And then they're throwing all these, just look at television, dude. Look at television. It's one massive distraction.
Oh yeah.
And it's and people are like, you know, why does my fucking kid just sit around and play video games all day and watch TV? And it's like, do you realize what is going on with that television, like that is like an advanced piece of technology that is using flashing lights and all these things that for thousands of years the human brain had never even experienced ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously everything is electrical.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, but that's not the point. You know, TV is a very powerful. TV and electronics we're so vulnerable, man. We're so vulnerable. Very small, or I don't know how you would describe that. The gates, they're almost closed. There's a small gap.
My uncle said, he says like the path to hell is long and wide.
Absolutely.
Or like short and wide, or the path to heaven is long and narrow.
So basically what that means is that the path to hell is very, very easy, and the path to heaven is very hard. And I just can't believe that many people that have already existed on this planet, just think back to something in your childhood, when you were younger. Like, did you ever get left out of a group?
Yeah.
Like in gym class or something.
Yeah.
Just something like that. Anything. Like you're in a gym class, you don't really know anybody. All your friends, nobody else is taking that fucking gym class. Just something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're 7 years old and you're on the soccer team, and your coach isn't playing you enough. Or anything, dude. Anything that fucking makes you feel out of place.
You get stuck going to a dinner party with your girlfriend.
Anything, dude. Anything. There's so many different fucking examples. But the point is that, what about all those people that got, that are being left out? That, I cannot believe that those many people are going to be left behind and just roast for eternity. What the fuck?
How can you stand behind a God who does that?
Well, and the Christian doctrine would say that's not what happens. God does not stand behind it. God has no control over it. There is an evil force, and that's what's frightening to me, is that I don't necessarily like the idea. It doesn't mean that I believe, because I'm not sure what I believe about hell or heaven. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna, I'm heavily influenced by my past and my faith, my past faith, because I was a strict altar boy, every Sunday. But, everything changed. But I still believe in it. There is a real evil, dude. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I think there's a real element of it. Because, I haven't seen real suffering. I've seen elements of it.
I've had a lot of... I've experienced probably some of the limit of internal personal suffering. That was my own doing. I've never been subjected to anything.
Exactly, and that's I'm sure there's an element of darkness that pulls at our brain, and it's just hardwired in us. But there's whether or not that darkness is the same thing as the darkness that causes all that suffering in the world that I will go into in a second. Mm-hmm. But maybe they're different. Maybe they're completely different things. Maybe one's neurological, and it's a result of evolution. I'm not sure. There's all kinds of theories, and whatever makes the most sense to you, that's what you have to fucking.
Yeah, dude. I honestly,
but some people get too into that shit though, and they let it. Yeah, they let it take over, and they start. I've experienced a form of it, but I've definitely seen people go over the edge of that shit.
Yeah, I firmly believe that evil as a result of man is purely illusory. It's if you're acting out of your own conscious will and you're doing something that we would that society would deem evil, that's not because you're an evil person. That's just because that's illusory. That's your frustrated will to meaning, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that's with man. But I cannot deny the existence of like a metaphysical evil force or something because there is straight up evidence of exorcisms for thousands of years still going on today. There's still recorded exorcisms. The exorcisms are a real thing.
I'm sure they are.
That is I mean, people can dispute that all they want, but as far as like in my head, dude, it can't be any clearer. So but I have no idea what it is. I don't even know. But as far as man goes, there is no evil. It's all in our heads. But there's definitely a force out there, man.
My best homie, dude, like called me up and he told me that he had just gotten done playing with a Ouija board with him and a couple chicks.
Ouija boards are will fucking kill you, dude.
Exactly, dude. Dude, I actually no. He told me when I came over to his house, and I went over there and it was like 2 in the morning. His mom was asleep, so there was no more driving. He parked his car.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for the night. I was gonna crash up in his room.
Uh-huh.
He tells me this shit, dude. I'm like in the middle of eating something.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, all right, man. Well, I gotta go. You gonna take me back to my place, or do I have to walk? And he made me fucking walk, dude.
Damn.
It was like 2 in the morning. It was like negative 10 out.
Damn.
No, that's a lie. It's probably like 0 degrees. It was cold as fuck though.
Yeah.
And like that's how fucking freaked I was, dude. That walk back was kind of it was a creepy walk.
Wait, so what exactly did you do with the Ouija? Was he with people?
It told him its name, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it started with a Z. I don't remember the rest. And if I did know it, I wouldn't tell you because I don't want to. I don't want to say that shit. It doesn't even matter. It's no big deal. The fact of the matter is that thing actually moves on its own, and they sell that shit in Fred Meyer's.
Yeah, for real, dude. Ouija boards are no joke.
And I'm not saying like if people are gonna listen to this, I'm not saying like go ahead and go try a Ouija board to see if it really works. Just look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
If you really want to know, I haven't done that, but if you really want to know, just look it up on the internet. Look at a video. I'm sure, because that shit works.
It does. It really does.
It's just moving on its own. You're like, anybody else gonna like? I just shit myself. Anybody else? Just like looking around.
I know my stepmom. She has a personal experience with a Ouija board. That's what kind of sealed the deal for me. But dude, you hear about so much shit like through the grapevine. Just people dude, the set of Poltergeist. All those movies were riddled with hauntings and deaths, and people were fucking with Ouija boards on the set.
I think a lot of that's Hollywood, though. I think a lot of that is them trying to freak us out, dude. And I think it's fucked up. That's why I was bashing the movies earlier, dude.
Yeah, it could be, dude. I never thought of. I haven't pulled that fact out of my head for like 5 years.
Don't get me wrong. The American Film Institute, that's what I'll call it. But from whenever it was born to now, there's been a lot of good movies made. There's been a lot of really good movies. But most of them have subliminal messages. Most of them are not.
Cinema is a true blessing to man, but
Mistaken.
But I don't trust a lot of mainstream cinema.
That's why you gotta watch Zeitgeist, man.
No, honestly, the only mainstream cinema I will gladly partake in is a comic book movie. That's my guilty pleasure, dude. If I'm getting subliminal messages to rape children, it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take the risk, man. But
dude, I've never read comic books. Is it but I can see how it could. I've read like Tintin and stuff. You ever read that?
Mm-mm.
No. I mean, a movie. But I never read like Spider-Man or Batman or any of that stuff.
I got all this.
Really?
I have a box over there, and I have a big crate of graphic novels under my bed,
Nice,
all
dude.
in sequence.
Nice.
Yeah. My dad he's a really cool guy. I did all of it on my own for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And because pretty much, dude, when I was working like freshman, sophomore year, dude, I wasn't even like doing drugs at the time. I didn't have anything to do. I was blowing it on food and comic books, dude. I was just buying all the comic books I wanted, like and other things, of course. But
Nice.
and I went on vacation by myself and shit. But
Nice.
But a bunch of comic books, and then when I started I ended up getting hospitalized a couple times.
Damn.
Just short-term treatment, like at Providence, on like the Discovery unit, and then I ended up going to the academy. So throughout that whole period, I couldn't buy comics. So my dad was a cool enough guy to continue buying all of my comics for
That's
me.
sick.
Yeah. So my collection, despite it all, is still up to date.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Do you still like? I mean, you told me that your parents are divorced, and you obviously don't live with them. But you still you still have contact with them?
yeah, I still talk. My mom lives in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And but I still, I talk to all my parents. We're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't really I don't really watch any mainstream comedy because I don't know, man. It really seems mainstream comedy seems really just pointless, you know.
Yeah.
Like I really feel like that's the worst form of clouding our heads. Except for Anchorman, dude. Anchorman's hilarious.
Oh yeah, no,
but
Will Ferrell's good, dude. I like Will Ferrell.
And he's actually a really smart guy too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to say this real quick. This is something I was thinking. Then we'll go back to the movie thing. But you know, it really pisses me off when people say that like, oh, I don't like Will Ferrell. He's the same character in every movie. I hate when people say that about anybody. Because, of course, dude, they're going to have the elements of the character. They are a person representing somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Every single fucking actor
has their own
thing.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt's always has to be like the badass, you know? And
yeah, dude. And Will Ferrell is just that, like, blatant dude. And then there are other people like that. Dude, I can't think of the top of my head, but I hate when people say that. It's retarded. But anyway, so...
Oh, I agree.
And, dude, action movies, that's just stupid. That's clouding your head too, like all the Fast and Furious movies. I'm not dogging anybody who likes it.
I've never watched them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it just seems like it's clouding our heads.
With cars and shit.
So honestly, I don't go to any movies unless it's comic book related, really. And then but I watch a fuck ton of movies, dude. But it's all stuff I find on my own.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
just indie stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, Zeitgeist is 3 movies. I would definitely recommend watching all 3 of them, but if you only wanted to watch one of them, I'd watch the 3rd one.
Alright. Yeah, I'll watch all of them for sure.
Yeah, the 3rd one was the best because it talked about, like, how fucking every single type of problem that people encounter now, maybe not just in the West, but I mean, you know, circumstances allow these problems to become. In other places, you know, their main problem is survival. You know, they don't have the money nor the intent to buy drugs or anything. But this guy in this movie is basically talking about how addiction to anything really, you know, how because, you know, we all are addicted to something.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, you know.
My vice is and I mean, if I really needed to, I could quit smoking weed and cigarettes. I mean, I feel like I have faith in myself. I'm not a weak-willed person. If I really need to, I could quit. But I mean, they're vices while I have them. I enjoy them, and they're you know. But those are my things. I like smoking.
But on a real note, though, it's like when you look at the grand scheme of things, dude, like it doesn't fucking matter anymore. You know. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, life is not that serious.
Exactly,
anymore.
man.
Not even because of where we are, but because of what's gonna happen. So, you know, in my opinion, dude, I'm not gonna fucking. I mean, I'd like to get better at saving money so I can go on a trip and stuff. But I'm not gonna like grow up. I'm not gonna fucking try to like get a mortgage on a house and get bank loans and shit.
No,
dude.
No.
You know what'd be cool is to fucking get enough money to like buy a boat and just like sail or boat around the world.
That would be cool.
That'd be sick as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm gonna do that. I'm saying like that's just, you know, like you can think of ideas like that. You know, that's how much of a possibility someone's future is. Besides, you know, college really just kind of sets everything in motion. Once you're in college, dude, once you get that degree, now you gotta do something with it. Oh wait, too bad. 65% of college graduates are unemployed.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Look that shit up if you don't believe me. For the record.
Hey, did you ever read the book Into the Wild for school? Did you like it?
I thought, I didn't even get a hit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, a little bit.
Doesn't matter. That's alright. Is there any left?
There might be a hit.
Alright, go ahead.
I read it in like 7th grade. I'd probably want to reread it if I was to give you an accurate judgment. But from back then, I guess my impression was that it was unnecessary what he did. He had money from his...
I have an extra copy.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, no, I'll read this. For some reason, he I mean, he could have used some of that money to at least prepare himself. Go out there with some equipment. I think so. In I don't think it's a true story.
You don't think it's a true
No.
story?
No, I don't.
Why?
Just because of that, because of how illogical. I mean, he of how illogical a thing he did. He had $25,000 and he just gave it to charity. He didn't buy any equipment. He just went out there with nothing.
Oh, I think it's a true story, man. I think it's a true testament to the.
No, I think there's a lesson to it, but I just don't think that it's true. But go on.
But I think it's just a true testament to the the human spirit, and not in a way that what we're meant to be, you know.
Yeah.
And because we've strayed so far from the path of and I mean everything happens for a reason. So I feel like things are the way they should be for a reason, but from the path where we could have been, you know, we've strayed so far off.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
and I really feel like Chris McCandless, he was a guy who had this strong urge that some people just randomly do.
Did he write all
because
this
it
down?
seeps through. There's a lot of his personal stuff in there.
Okay.
But he just felt this urge to get back to the roots, and it was being filtered through the lens of today, and it was really distorted. He just did the only thing he thought he could do, and the reason I honestly believe it is I'm biased. I really fucking related to that guy, and
Okay.
and that book helped me get through a lot because I
He
read
was
it.
just like.
I read it in the academy. You know, dude. He would
He's just like, I'm leaving. I can't handle any of this.
Yeah, and he goes into his background, who he was as a person, how he did things. I really felt like I connected with him, and this book was the first time in my entire life. And you know, if it's fake, dude, like that's okay.
I don't want to be fucking doing that, man. Don't even. It's not even a big deal if it's fake or not. Because
exactly, because it's the message that I got from it.
It's not even a big deal what I said.
Yeah, I mean, but what I mean is like, in the long run, what I gained from that book, it wouldn't even matter if it was fake, but because that was the first time in my entire life where I realized that I wasn't alone in the way I felt.
I'm gonna reread it. I'll give you another assessment after I read it. And hopefully it'll be better.
Yeah, because it really impacted me, just the way he wrote his personal thoughts down about like the way things were with how and it really touched me, man, and it made me think, because for since then I thought I was alone. I thought I was just some weirdo.
Yeah.
And then I read this and I realized, dude, there's this guy. There might be others, and then there was other guys he talks about in the book. And I started researching Everett Ruse.
Really? Everett
Ruse, he's a guy just like this, except like in the early 1920s. Did the same thing pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. I researched him.
And maybe I'm wrong, dude.
I'm
probably wrong then if you've done research into this. Yeah, I'm probably wrong.
But dude, his shit was and I connected with it also, and I was like, dude, there are so many people out here. These are just two highlights. There must be more. And then and now that I've realized that we're everywhere, and it's just a matter of opening your eyes.
You see this?
What is that?
You're taking just
okay.
what that is. That's kind of trippy to me. Oh man. Is this a legitimate cowboy picture?
No, I don't think so.
Sure, these people look really old.
Damn, dude. Have you read that?
No.